Hi, it's Lori from Coast to Coast Craft Girls coming to you from the West Coast. Today I want to show you how to make this really neat little gatefold pop-up card. So we'll start with the outside. Got a hook and loop closure. Open it up and it pops open. Looks like that. It'll set up like that, but it looks like that from the front. Let's get started. All right, to make this card, we're going to start with the base card, and it's in 3 pieces. So we need one piece of card that is 7 by 8, and I scored it at 3 inches on the 8-inch side. So basically you have a 5 by 7, which is the size of your card. And then this is going to be the bottom piece that folds out because it's going to sit like this. And it's going to have the pop out here. And then I need the 2 sides. And so for that, I'm going to make it basically a gatefold, right? So because this is 7, I need 3.5 and then an extra half to glue on for my gluing tabs. So I cut it 4, and then I made these a little bit shorter so that they're an inch shorter. So where this is 8, 5, and then 5 with the 3 inches, this is 5 and then 2 inches. And then, so I scored it at the 5-inch mark, and then I scored a 1/2 inch down, and then I cut this piece off and then angled those because those are going to glue on like that on each side. And so I have 2 of those. So let's glue those on. The top up here so that it's even, because when you fold it in, you want it to be even. And make sure that the bottom is, because it's going to fold in like that. And then that creates your gatefold. Okay, so that's the base of your card. It's going to sit like that when it's open. Now let's do the pop out. I'm going to set that to one side. Now to do the pop out, it's basically a matten layer. So this is a 1/4 inch smaller. So the one was 8 by 7, and this is 6 3/4 by 7 3/4. And I just marked it at the 2 3/4 inch line because that's where that fold is going to be. But I don't want to score all the way across because I'm going to put my pop out in. And I've got the happy birthday pop out. And you can see they've got little indents. Those are going to go right on that line. So line them up and then tape that down. And we're going to run that through. But you've got your little pop out. Now I want to continue that score line all the way up to those edges. So let me get a scoring board in here. And you want to score right up to that edge. And that's going to be your fold line. So you're going to fold it here, but then, I don't know if you can see, it's got a score line across the bottom. You just want to really carefully bend that up from the back. Sometimes if you put either a bone folder or a fingernail or something right on the score line, it helps bend that forward. And then you want to bend at those score lines. And then you can kind of see these. It's got a score line again at the top. And you want to bend these up. So get my hand out of the way. I, again, use my fingernail or a bone folder or something to kind of go in and get those. And then they have another score line that's going to fold down. And it's not the easiest to do, but you just kind of have to keep working it. And just take your time and do a little at a time. Don't try to rush it, or you'll bend it in the wrong place or rip it or something. So then once you get all of that in, as you start to fold those up and this up, it'll eventually just kind of fold shut. There, just like that. Now that's going to go on the inside of my card, right here in the center. Now, because this is the same color as the background, even though it's going to be on the white, it's still just, it doesn't stand out enough for me. So what I did is I just cut that same die again in the yellow and just snipped out a happy birthday, and I'm just going to glue it right on top of that one before I put it in there. And just make sure you don't, when you glue that on, that you don't glue the over any of the fold lines or anything, so that it won't fold up anymore. But just get that glued down and pressed. I'll set that aside to let it dry. And I'll show you how to do the sides. Now on the sides, I want that pop out as well, but I don't have a die. So what I did is I cut my mountain layer pieces, and these are 3 1/4 by 6 1/2. And then what I did is I put it on my scoreboard, and you probably can't see that too well, but let me put it on the scoreboard so you can see. So I scored it, get this out of the way. I scored it at 1 3/4 just on the sides. Okay, and then in the middle, I scored at 3/4, at 2 3/4, and at 3 3/4. And then I cut these two right here, like that. And then, again, you fold these back, that one forward, that one, that one, and you create a little pop out. That gives you something to put your stuff on. And that's going to sit right in there. So we'll go ahead and glue those down. I cut 2 of them, and this one's exactly the same. So we'll have one for each side, but they're exactly the same. Again, make sure that it folds flat, because that's going to allow your card to fold flat. Now, this should be dry, so let me bend it again and make sure that it's good and ready to go. Yep. Okay, now we're going to glue this in here. And again, same thing. You don't want to glue on this part, so you can glue around here and around here, but don't glue the part that bends out. And you can do this in a patterned paper, or you can put patterned paper behind, but I decided to just leave it like that because I'm going to decorate it up quite a bit. So see, all of this folds flat and folds in, and that gives me my gatefold. So what I did for the design is, on this side, I'm going to glue a piece of acetate. It's actually 2 pieces of acetate, and they're, let's see how long, about 4 inches by 1.5 inches. And I did that because I'm going to put the balloons on it, and I want the balloons to have something to glue to so that they can kind of stick up. And I didn't have any good stiff construction acetate, so I just took 2 pieces. It's not going to show, so I just took 2 pieces and stuck them together. So let's Actually, I'm going to use a little bit of red liner tape to put it right here on this piece. And that's going to make it jump out at you when you open up the card. And then you just glue that acetate, or tape that acetate right onto there. Oh, I got it a little too tall. So see how that's above the top? I got to cut that down because I don't want that. There we go. Now that gives me something to put my balloons on. So here are my balloons. I've cut these. These are from the balloon alphabet die set. And I just cut a bunch of different balloons. I'm going to start with the big one. We're going to put it in the back. And again, you want to make sure that when it's folded up, it stays inside the card. So I'm actually going to have to cut that acetate down a little bit more because it's going to show. I'm just going to use my tape pen to put that balloon on. Again, see, if you fold it up, then you can see right where you can put it, like that. And then we're just going to layer some balloons on over the top. I cut some little strings, but I don't think I'm going to need them. Okay. And now for the other side, let me get those out of the way. On the other side, I've got a nice little cupcake. So this is actually from the Crafter's Companion, the shaker card dies. So I'm going to put this one on flat. And again, I want to look at this so that it fits right in there. And I'm going to put some 3D glue right across there. And I just put some sequins and some little glitter glue and some candles on there. And that's going to fit right there. Okay. And that's the basics of your card. Now I'm going to put some decoration up here, and then we'll do the front. So I decided that the decorations that I had some balloons and stars and stuff to go back here in the background, just wasn't enough. So I decided to put some pattern paper. So I cut a piece that's 6.5 by 7.5, scored it at 2.5. And this time I scored all the way across because it doesn't matter, because I'm going to cut out the part that pops out anyway. And then we're going to line this die up back just the same way that we did before, with those little notches on the fold line, and run it through Gemini. And I'm just going to take my little snips and we're just going to snip out all of this. And you can just see, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's little fold lines right here, and that's where you want to snip, just above those little fold lines, because that's where it would fold down to pop out. But I don't want that. But I'm probably going to save that letters because I could use it on something else if I decide I like that print, and I could snip it out and put it, I could have put it right here instead of the yellow. Okay, now you can take this piece and it's just going to fit right over the top and in underneath that pop out part, like that. And you're going to have a little bit of matte layer so you can see the orange, but it gives you a nice decoration in the back, and I like that. I decided not to do it on these because there's enough of the other that I think it's fine, but I'm going to do this. Should have glued that up while I had it out. There. And that's the inside of our card done, just like that. Now, this is still a little bit of wet, so I don't want to fold it up too much, but see, this will fold flat, this will fold flat, and fold in. Now we need to decorate the front. What I did is I found this die. I cut it in half already, but it's actually, where is it? It's this die with a frame around it, and I can't remember where it came from, but I think it was a floral. Was called floral mandala or flower mandala or something. And so I cut that out, and then I put some rose gold glitter card behind it, and then I cut it again in white, and I just kind of layered it over and did some inking to do those corners just to give it something. And we're going to put that one, and then like I said, I cut it in half because it's a gatefold, so obviously it needs to go into two pieces. So we're going to glue that on each half onto the front. So now you got that, but it kind of keeps popping open, and you need some sort of a sentiment on the front. So this is what I came up with. It's one of the layerable sentiments, and I used the rose gold glitter and then the orange and the yellow. And I put foam tape on one half because that's going to go on one side. And then what I did on the other side is I put one of the little hook and loop dots. You can see I put foam tape all the way across before I remembered that it was only going to go on half. So that'll keep it shut. So let's peel the backing off of both the foam tape and that hook and loop dot. Now if you put the hook and loop both on one side and then peel the backing off, when you put this down right about there, then push it down, then the other half, see, that holds it shut, but you can open it and it pops right open. to a nice pop-out happy birthday card. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed making that. And it'll close right back up again. Because of that hook and loop, it'll stay shut. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Have a nice day. Bye.